Hi, I'm Donna Spencer with PLANTifull Fare, and thank you so much for stopping by. I have something fun to share with you today, and the first thing I'd like to share with you is a little bit about what PLANTifull Fare is. And there's a little bit of a story behind that. So if you'll indulge me for just about 45 seconds, let me give you just a quick overview of what PLANTifull Fare is and how I came to stand in front of you here today. So in 2019, my health was really taking a turning point and my blood work and ultrasounds were headed in a direction that wasn't good. It really felt like a big warning. And the only solutions that I was being offered at that time was more prescriptions and possibly my thyroid being removed. And I knew I had to get in front of it. So what I did what I love to do. I researched, I learned, and I got back into the kitchen. And the kitchen is like my favorite place in the home. So it was very natural for me to do that. But I also realized that not a lot of people love being in the kitchen as much as I do. And I really missed the Italian food that I grew up with and cooked for 25 years. And my family has come to love as well. So, faced with all of that, I decided to not give up and reinvent it. So, that journey became Plentiful Fare with Italian Flair, showing folks that Italian cuisine can be vibrant, can be regional. The North cooking is very different from the South and from the middle of Italy as well. It can be just as comforting and it can be completely oil-free and plant-based. And so I'm excited to share this with you. This year, for my third year running, I have contributed to the vegan bundle, my Plentiful Fare with Italian Flair, Volume 3. And this bundle is actually a collection of over 68 pieces of content. They vary from classes, courses in how to heal your autoimmune, what actions to take for high blood pressure. There's a lot of great coursework there, as well as they are all vegan and oil-free. So let's go ahead and get started. And the vegan bundle is running on sale until tonight at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Central Time. And it is $49. And those 68 pieces of content, if you were to purchase them each separately, would be about $4,500. So it really is a great deal. Even if you just use 4 or 5 of them, you are definitely getting your money's worth out of spending the $49 for all 68 pieces of content. So I really hope you take advantage of this. It's only on sale for 10 days a year. And again, it's all brand new content to the bundle. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. But one of my most favorite ones was from Raw Chef Yin. And she has courses as well as a cookbook, as you can see, I'm holding up right now, on Chinese takeout. It is a raw chef. And what that means is that all the dishes that she prepares and the recipes that she creates are not cooked. Sometimes they will get dehydrated to 115 degrees, but with raw cooking, the theory is that you're not damaging the basic components and compounds in the food that you're eating. So let's get into the video. I am going to be making from Chef Yin's Raw Chinese Takeout her mushroom sauce, which looks really good. And it's going to go over her cashew chicken recipe. So I have everything here that's going to make the sauce first, and then I'm going to make the Chinese cashew chickens. So why don't we go ahead and get started? For the mushroom sauce, it calls for 8 ounces of dried shiitake mushrooms. So I'm going to put those in my high-powered blender first, and we want to get those pulverized. We want to get those as fine as we possibly can. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, that's looking pretty fine. Let's just take the lid off of this and see what we have. So that's pretty fine. You can see some powder floating out of that. I'm going to give it another pulse to see if I can get it a little finer. All right, so let's see what we have. That's pretty fine. Yeah, that looks a lot better than the first time when I took the lid off. So I'm ready for the rest of the ingredients. And the rest of the ingredients consist of a half a cup of water, an eighth of a teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt, 1 tablespoon of miso, yellow miso I have here. You could also use white. I also have 3/4 cup of coconut aminos are going to go in here. And I'm going to need my spatula for this one, but she calls for a 1/4 cup of coconut sugar. I didn't have any coconut sugar on hand, but I did have some date paste. So I am using date paste instead of the coconut sugar. And I really am highly confident that this is going to be just fine using the date paste. So I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to tighten my lid and we're going to give this a whirl and make sure. And I gotta say, it's looking exactly like what she has in her picture of her feels like it's a little bit smoother. I can see it's a little bit smoother from the outside. It's starting to get a little bit smoother. So now I'm going to take this off and I'm going to give it a little taste just to see if I need to adjust anything. Oh my gosh, that's really thick. Oh wow, that's really good. Wow, that is really, really good. Okay, we got our sauce done. So now I am going to put that in a bowl. So now I'm just going to put my mushroom sauce in a bowl. And she says that this will store in a sealed jar in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. I don't think mine's going to last 5 days because this is delicious. And in the freezer, if you wanted to freeze it into ice cube trays to take out just a 1 serving, if you're just having dinner on your own one night, yeah, you could put it in ice cube trays, freeze it in ice cube trays, and pop out a cube whenever you need it. Pop it in the microwave. And using that date paste really didn't have it tastes great with the date paste. I know she asked to use excuse me, coconut sugar, but it tastes just fine with the date paste. So I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to turn my camera down. There we go. And I'm going to move a couple of things out of the way here. Great. I hope you can see my bowl okay. So what is going to go in the chicken cashew is it has some onions that have been dehydrated. So a 1/4 cup of onions that have been dehydrated. Some mushrooms, about about a little under a cup of mushrooms. And then a half a cup of carrots and a half a cup of celery. My cashews. half a cup of cashews that have been soaked for 20 minutes. I already did that. All right, I already did that part. And then I'm going to get a small bowl. I'm going to use this bowl right here to mix up the sauce part of the recipe. So it is 1 teaspoon of vinegar, apple cider vinegar, um, a half a teaspoon or half a tablespoon, excuse me, half a tablespoon of coconut aminos, which is actually in the mushroom sauce as well. Some water, uh, some miso paste, and some tahini. I need my spatula here. And I'm going to mix this together. Let's see, where is that? Put that there. So I have a couple more things that need to go in. She calls for fresh ginger and fresh garlic, and I didn't have any fresh ginger on hand. So I'm going with dry. And I'm also going to go with some dry garlic powder as well, since I'm using the dry ginger. And also a quarter teaspoon of ground white pepper. I'm going to throw that in there. And I'm going to switch to a whisk. I just want to smell it. It smells really, really good. It smells amazing. All right. And you can see this is getting really nice and thick and saucy. And the last ingredient, of course, is the mushroom sauce that we just made. So I'm going to get my tablespoon measuring out of here, and it calls for 3 tablespoons of the mushroom sauce. And I'm going to whisk that in. And actually, this looks like a lot of sauce. So I'm going to just pour half of it over and see if I need more. Um, I just have a funny feeling that when I taste this more, it's going to be um, very rich, and I may not actually need. I'm not a big, I'm not one to laden all of my dishes with a ton of sauce. Sauce is supposed to be a way to elevate your dishes, not a way to um, hide the vegetables in your dish. So I'm just going to give this a taste. That's delicious. That is delicious. I know I've made a couple of swap outs here, but um, they haven't been, there's a little bit of paste and a little bit of aminos in those dishes that I'm just gonna use up here. I know that I made some swaps here, and I just wanted to share with you that it's okay to make swaps. Um, Sometimes we all just don't have everything, and so it's, instead of topping this with some sliced green onions, I have some toasted sesame seeds that I'm going to be topping it with. So with that, I am going to coat my vegetables with my sauce. I'm just going to measure out just so that I know what I did for future references. So that's 2, it's 3, and I have a funny feeling that 4 is going to be enough, but I reserve the right to add another one if I so feel that it needs it. Now, at this point, we are supposed to put this in the dehydrator again um, for 30 minutes. And I will go ahead and do that. But I actually am going to taste it and end the video at this part because I don't have a dehydrator. So what I would have to do is I would have to heat my oven to 115 degrees. And I'd have to heat my oven to 115 degrees and spread this on a sheet pan, spread it on a sheet pan, and then go ahead and dehydrate this a little bit. Um, I don't know if I can put this in the microwave or not. There aren't any instructions there for if you don't have a dehydrator. But I have dehydrated things in my rice cooker before. I've dehydrated them in my oven before. So I know it's totally possible. So that's what I'm going to do with this. But in the meantime, I'm just going to give this a quick try. And I'm going to take a piece of mushroom here and a cashew. Yeah, that is really, that is really good. That is really, really good. I can see how dehydrating it will make the vegetables a little bit softer, so they're not as crunchy. But I could totally eat this going in for another bite. I can totally eat this just as is without dehydrating it. And I don't know, putting it in the microwave on a medium would do the trick. I can actually write to her and ask her that and post it on my um, social media. But this is absolutely delicious. Again, this is from Raw Chef Yen Chinese Takeout, and it's very, very good. So that's just one of the thousands of recipes that you're going to get in this vegan bundle. Again, 68 contributions, pieces of content from very well-known plant-based leaders in the US and around the world. I think you'll really get a lot out of the bundle this year, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And I hope you do grab the ingredients and make this because it's absolutely delicious. So thank you, Chef Yen, and I appreciate all your efforts in developing this recipe for us. It's delicious. I have missed cashew chicken so much because when you go to the restaurants, it's just laden with oil and I just can't eat it. So now I have this back in my life and I'm very, very excited to have this back in my life again. This is something that I can whip together during the week and I think it would be great as leftovers the next day as well. So please, if you haven't already, check out my Plentiful Fare website. In the notes below, I will put all of my social media and links to get to find my recipes for cooking Italian with no dairy and no oil. So I really hope that you take a peek at Plentiful Fare with Italian Flair. I hope that you come to my website and grab some recipes. They're great for they're great for during the week, and they're also guest worthy, which is something that's really important to me. Is that when people come over, I don't necessarily want to serve them unhealthy food, and the recipes that I have in this book really help you to serve your guests delicious meals without compromising on the comfort of them, the variety of them, and the deliciousness. So thanks again for sharing the last few minutes with me. I hope you have a great weekend and hope to see you again. Thanks. Bye.